Hey kiddos, happy Monday morning. Hope you had a nice weekend and were able to relax a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and read chapter 5 of The Chocolate Touch. Hopefully, you've been following along in General Classroom. Again, if you have not, scroll back. All the chapters are there. That way, you're not confused on John and what's been going on with him. This week, if you want your parents to sign up, you can do a Google Hangout with me. I will send you a link through GoGuardian, but your parents have to sign up first so that I know that they are on board and okay with it. So be on the lookout for that in your schedule, and your parents should have seen something on Dojo. All right, so I'm going to read chapter 5, and we'll see what's going on with John. John hung up his coat, got his notebook and pencil out of his locker, and sat down at a small table, just in time for the second bell, when Miss Plimsoll, his teacher, walked silently into the classroom. As soon as she appeared in the doorway, all the chattering and scuffling stopped. The 20 boys and girls sat straight in their chairs and looked straight ahead at the clean blackboard. "Good morning, children," said Miss Plimsoll. "Good morning, Miss Plimsoll," the class answered respectfully. Miss Plimsoll sat at her high desk, blinking her eyes as she surveyed the room. Then she opened a little drawer in her desk and pulled out a spectacles case, from which she took out her reading glasses. She removed her long-distance glasses, put on her short-distance glasses, snapped shut the spectacles case, replaced it in the drawer, shut the drawer, tilted her head forward so that she could look over the glasses on her nose, and said, "This morning, children, we are going to have an important test." There were some groans and a few ohs and ahs. Miss Plimsoll lifted up one of her hands, and silence was restored instantly. "No complaining, please," she said sternly. "This test will show me how well you have been learning your arithmetic this year. It will be a short one. I am going to write just 4 problems on the board. I shall expect you to solve them all swiftly and accurately, and to write your answers neatly. You will place your paper in front of you now. You will write your name at the top right-hand corner, and then you will place your pencil beside your paper, sit back in your chair, and wait until I give the signal to begin work." Miss Plimsoll turned to the blackboard and began chalking up the test problems. Tests always made John nervous. Besides, his lips were feeling dry, and the taste of chocolate was strong in his mouth. He raised his hand. "Yes, John?" Miss Plimsoll asked. "Please may I go and get a drink of water, please, Mrs. Plimsoll?" he asked in a small voice. "Very well, hurry back. We're going to start in a few minutes." John gratefully slipped out of the room and walked quickly down the quiet corridor to a water fountain. His tongue felt thick with chocolate. The cold water would be refreshing. He pressed his foot down on the fountain treadle, and a stream of clear, ice-cold water spurted up from the silver nozzle in the white enamel basin. He lowered his head until the jet of water reached his lips. The cold water splashed delightfully against the outside of his mouth. He opened his lips. As soon as the water gushed in, it turned into ice-cold chocolate water, thin and sweet. Quickly, stopping the flow, John looked with dismay at the shallow puddle that had formed and was now draining away into the fountain. He hurried to another fountain on the second floor of the building. But there, the same thing happened. The clear, ice-cold water turned to liquid chocolate in his mouth. When John finally got back to the classroom, all the other pupils were bent over their tables, busily scratching away. Miss Plimsoll looked up from her book as John tiptoed in. She looked at the clock on the wall, looked back at him, and waved her finger reprovingly. John began on the first of the 4 problems, but he was so worried about the chocolate water that he couldn't keep his mind on his work. By the time he was ready to start the 4th problem, the other boys and girls were already putting down their pencils and straightening up and smiling at each other. "2 minutes to go," said Miss Plimsoll. Concentrating hard, John took the end of his pencil between his teeth and began to nibble it. Immediately, it turned to chocolate. Then, he noticed an even more disturbing change. Although he had taken the pencil out of his mouth, as soon as the first piece of chocolate had crumbled off, the pencil was continuing to change to chocolate. The chocolate was slowly but steadily moving down the pencil, replacing the wood and lead inside, changing it into a chocolate pencil before John's very eyes. The magic, for John now knew that his power must be magic, was apparently getting stronger. By the time the whole pencil had changed from red, yellow, and black to dark brown, Miss Plimsoll was announcing that only a few seconds remained in which to write down the final answer. "Just a minute," John pleaded. "Shh," Miss Plimsoll cautioned him, holding a finger up to her mouth. There, it's hard to see the chocolate pencil. So things are getting worse for him again. "Shh," chorused the slow workers, who were becoming almost as excited as John. But John felt worst of all. He felt sure that he could finish the problem and write down the correct answer, if only he had something to write with. "But Miss Plimsoll," he begged in a loud whisper, "my pencil's turned to chocolate." "Hush, John," Miss Plimsoll said. "I'll speak to you after the bell." John tried to write with his changed pencil, but the point was too soft, and he only succeeded in making a chocolate smear where he should have written 72. So he wasn't able to finish his assignment. All right, that is the close of Chapter 5. As always, take a look on Dojo a little later this morning, boys and girls. There'll be something for you to respond to for those who are following along. As always, if you have any questions, please reach out to me on Dojo, email, and I'll be sure to check in with you guys using the chat feature on GoGuardian. Again, it's going to show up as a little teal blinking box at the bottom left of your screen. If you see that, please click on it. That means I'm online and I'm able to chat with you, catch up on things, and answer any questions that you might have. All right? Have a great day, and I look forward to talking to some of you throughout the week live. All right? Talk to you guys later.